Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Good to see you guys. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chum Change. This is live and recorded, and I apologize for being a little late. As you guys know, my wife is sick. She has the vid in one of the other rooms. I've been taking care of the whole family, so it's just been a mess the last couple days. So I apologize if I'm tired or just whatever, late. I'm sorry. But anyways, let's get into this. Let's see who is here. We're going to be talking about the spot ETF FUD, as we already talked about a little bit yesterday. I just want to hear Crypto Zombie's take on it. Apparently, Cointelegraph was the one to spread that FUD and actually cause that whole thing, and they did put an apology on their site. I want to see what that actually has to say. I didn't get to read it yet fully, but I saw the headline of it. Then we have what was it? The biggest heist in crypto history. There was I think it was 50,000 Bitcoin stolen, like mysteriously. They didn't know who did it, and I guess CNBC just came out and posted a video of like the entire thing and how the guy got caught. So it was pretty cool. We're going to show like a little clip of it, and then I have the full video in the description below if you guys are interested. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Binance USD halting the US payments. I think you guys already really knew that, but we'll just kind of go over everything and then go from there. So let's see who's in the chat, and then we'll get into it. Mr. Patrick Murphy, All Set Miner, good to see you. Leo Lustig, Dumpster Fire, my man. Andrew Massad's the Pirate, Power Minds, what's up, buddy? David Nerd Beast, we have Chris Hanley, good to see you. Dan Ruggs, what's up, buddy? Tim I Am Crypto, Automatic Beats, my man, good to see you. Dom G, anybody else I may have missed, I apologize, but let's get into this. Let's see what this market's looking like today, and then we'll go from there. Bitcoin 28,388. We have Ethereum 1580, not too bad. Let's see, Litecoin 62 bucks. Let's see, Solana's 23, almost $24, down 0.71%. XRP 50 cents, just about, it's 49. Let's see, BNB 212, Toncoin $2, TRX 8 cents, Dogecoin under 6 cents. That kind of sucks. Check out Crypto Bubbles. This is on the week. Hex is up 40.6% on the week. Casp is up 7%. Let's check the day real quick. Geez, Hex is up 25% today. Wow, that's wild. Casp is actually down 2.7% today. This Trust Wallet token, I don't know if you guys have this, but Trust Wallet is the wallet that I personally use. I don't have their token at all. I honestly don't even, I've never seen how to buy it on their site or their app, but I guess I'm assuming there's a way. There's got to be a way to swap for it. So I know they do have a swap feature, but that's kind of neat. I don't know how that coin's going to do long term. Let's see. OKB down 4.9%. IOTA down 12.6. Jeez. All right, let's continue. Let's check out the Fear and Greed Index as always. 50 neutral, nothing's changed. That's what it is. All right, check out the top 10 coins by CoinMarketCap over on CoinGecko. We have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, XRP, USDC, Lido, Staked, Ether, Solana, Cardano, and Dogecoin. Litecoin back in 16th again, and Shiba down in 19th, if anybody cares. All right. Again, I want to check out these miners. This is what I like to do. Again, time capsule. Let's see where these machines are at, as we are a crypto mining channel. We have the KS3 again, still on top, $112 a day. We have so that's the Bitmain one. The Ice River KS3 is only 8 terahashes, is $95 a day. The X16Q, shout out to jinglemining.com. I have one of these, and I'm spec mining a coin right now. Well, any altcoins really spec mining, so I'm mining a coin, heating my house. That if you guys didn't see that video, go check it out. But the X16Q is profitable, $4.46 a day according to this site, and this is at 10 cents kilowatt hour. Don't forget, guys. Let's go down to the KS0. This is so depressing. The KS0 really, it just sucks how bad it went down, or how fast it went down. $1.13 a day. It really reminds me of the what was it, the KA3 that like totally took a shit when, you know, all the miners came out when they released them all. They were like projected to make a bunch of money a day, and now they're just, I don't even know where the hell it is. Let's look it up real quick before we get into this. What was it, KA3? Is that what it was, if I'm not mistaken? 66 cents a day. This thing was making like over $100 a day, if I'm not mistaken. It was making a bunch. Do you guys remember that? It was crazy when this came out, and then it just flooded the network with all the bullshit. All right. Anyways, let's get into this. So I want to show you guys first real quick this exposing a Bitcoin billionaire, right? This guy was apparently a secret billionaire. They couldn't catch him. He stole a bunch of money from Silk Road. I guess it was 50,000 Bitcoin or something along those lines. They'll explain it here in like 3 minutes, but there's like I think it's a 35 or 40 minute video that I did leave the link down in the description below. If you guys are interested, it's actually this one Not this one, I lied. Right here. How to steal and lose more. And shout out to whoever actually posted that in my general chat. All right, let's get into this, see what this is all about. And then if you guys have any questions, just at me in the chat.
For nearly a decade, it was one of the biggest mysteries in crypto. Who stole 50,000 Bitcoins, which would ultimately be worth more than $3 billion from a dark website called the Silk Road? No one knew until the man behind the crime made a costly mistake. And now a new CNBC documentary, Crypto 911, exposing a Bitcoin billionaire, provides never-before-seen footage and the story behind one of the biggest heists in history. Eamon Javers has that story.
Jimmy, how do you feel after this today? Jimmy, you feel like the judge was fair today? Why'd you steal the money, Jimmy?
How can he see?
A spectacular crime.
This is going to be a huge case, and there's a lot more money that we don't know about.
In a small town.
Shocked. I was shocked. I was so surprised.
A 28-year-old secret Bitcoin billionaire, his private jets, wild parties, and dark secret.
It was just a surreal feeling, and with Jimmy, there were no limits.
This is the story of one of the biggest crypto heists of all time.
He's living this party monster lifestyle and with no visible means of support.
Right.
With clues dating back to the earliest days of Bitcoin itself, in a story that reveals a dark truth about the hackers and coders who created cryptocurrency in the first place.
A huge amount of Bitcoin is leaking out of the system, and you have no idea where it's going. Oh, it's a huge question.
And the man who could have gotten away with it, except for one phone call that led to an abrupt end to a nearly decade-long manhunt.
Clark County 911. What is your name, sir?
It's Jimmy Zong, Z-H-O-N-G.
That's crazy.
And that's just a sneak peek. In this documentary, IRS Criminal Investigation, the agency that investigated the case, takes us behind the scenes and shows us how they cracked this case. We also get a detailed look into their interactions with Zong and a look into his bizarre life. You can check it out now on CNBC.com or scan the QR code now for the link to the full documentary, which is about a half an hour, guys. Back over to you.
Okay, just though, I don't want to give too much away, but give us a little bit about who this guy Jimmy is at the center of the story.
Yeah. So at the beginning of the story, Jimmy Zong is sort of a local party boy in Athens, Georgia. He's a former University of Georgia student. He majored in computer science. He's hitting all the bars. He's that guy who's kind of hanging around the college town a little too long. He's getting into his late 20s, still partying at the college bars, buying rounds for everybody, taking people on trips, buys a lake house. And then someone steals from him. And he calls 911. That's the 911 call you hear at the beginning of the documentary. And then things unspool from there, and his life really unravels. And in the end, it's really the all-too-human story of a hacker who had access to multiple billions of dollars, thought maybe it might change his life, and found out, you know, there are some things that money just can't buy, Andrew.
Okay. Eamon, we are looking forward to that.
I would assume that's friends. Money can't buy friends, but it can sure as hell buy a whole bunch of other stuff. All right, let's get into crypto world. CNBC over here. This is more or less the end of the day yesterday's news. So let's hear what they have to say, see what this is all about, and then we'll go from there.
Today, the U.S. affiliate of Binance halts direct dollar withdrawals. The trial of Sam Bankman-Fried continues with more testimony from his inner circle. And John Wu of Ava Labs explains what's changed since FTX filed for bankruptcy.
Yeah, that guy's first mistake was living in the U.S. or staying in the U.S. Like, get the hell out of here. Like, if you have that many billions of dollars, what are you doing? Like, go down to like the DR or something. Go buy an island and live on it. Exactly what Zapira said in the chat. Like, just leave. Just so like that is so stupid. You could buy friends down there for sure.
Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Talia Kaplan. Crypto prices mixed today with Bitcoin trading close to $28,500. Ether was pretty flat, still trading above $1,500, and Solana jumped more than 3%, all as of noon Eastern. Okay, let's talk about the top stories. Binance US has cut off US dollar withdrawals. The domestic arm of Binance changed its terms of use on Monday, and it says if a customer wants to withdraw US dollar funds, They have to convert them to stable coins or other digital assets, then withdraw them. Now, this isn't the first time Binance US changed course on USD withdrawals, suspending them back in June in the wake of the SEC's lawsuit against the company.
That's what it was. So they suspended it in June and they actually put it into effect yesterday. Gotcha.
And at the same time, the international business of Binance has stopped accepting new customers in the UK, citing tighter regulations in the region that required it to change up the firm that helps it run financial promotions. Binance said until it finds an approved firm, current UK customers can keep using its existing services, but any new products won't be available to them. Next, the SEC is shutting down a rumor that it approved a spot Bitcoin ETF. The agency posted to X yesterday, writing, "Careful what you read on the internet," after Cointelegraph erroneously posted that the agency had approved BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF. Now that sent Bitcoin prices soaring yesterday. BlackRock later denied the rumor to several news outlets, and prices came back down, but speculation continued. Now, there are several deadlines this week for the SEC to approve or deny a spot ETF from several asset managers, but the agency can delay those decisions until January.
It'll most likely be delayed. Real quick, I want to show you guys this. So this was Cointelegraph that actually was the reason that news went wild, right? This clarification on sharing false spot Bitcoin ETF news. Cointelegraph apologizes to its readers and discusses its investigation into what led to the posting on unverified news on X about spot Bitcoin ETF. So yeah, they were the first ones to actually post about that, and people lost a shit ton of money. So I don't think it would be out of the realm of possibilities to see them in court with people that lost money. I mean, if Elon Musk can get sued over pumping Dogecoin, I think they have some legs to stand on suing Cointelegraph, but that's just me.
Let's get you another quick update on the trial of Sam Bankman-Fried. We learned more about former FTX engineer Nishad Singh's involvement in political donations, including how SBF would request donations be made in Singh's name. He was apparently pegged as the center-left face of FTX, and according to one Signal message, that meant his donations went to things considered woke. Singh told the court he wasn't comfortable being in that position for very long. Singh also spoke about the company's collapse, saying that when customer withdrawals spiked in November of 2022, he was very concerned that might spell doom.
Hold on. You guys see that? Are you reading this little, I don't know if you guys could see it. Look at this little list that's right here. I met with, I can't read that. It says checking K5. It just says Hillary Clinton's the first one on the top. She was getting money from FTX. That's hysterical. This Katy Perry. I can't read the other one. Doug something. I don't know who that is. And then Orlando Bloom. And then Kate Hudson. That's funny.
Withdrawals spiked in November of 2022. He was very concerned that might spell doom. He said he also asked to recuse himself from a November 6th meeting set up to discuss how SBF should address the public because he didn't feel comfortable with FTX being called solvent or liquid. Singh is also facing cross-examination from Bankman-Fried's legal team. Now, Crypto World also spoke to Jason Allegrante, Chief Legal Officer at Fireblocks, about what comes next for the industry after the trial. And here's what he said.
For me, what will hopefully happen with the conclusion of this trial, right, is we will put FTX behind us. And what putting FTX behind us doesn't mean seeing Sam Bankman-Fried in jail. Right, and it doesn't mean the same for any of his co-conspirators, although that might ultimately be what the administration of justice looks like. When this trial does conclude, and that's probably just going to be another couple of weeks, we can come out of this prepared across multiple fronts to help the public understand that this is a different industry with a new understanding of what it means to be good corporate citizens, right? And to build responsibly.
I just want you guys to remember too, like this whole FTX thing, yeah, it sucks. And yeah, it's like, it's kind of shitty on like the overall aspect of cryptocurrency, but this happened with, Silk Road. When that whole thing happened, that guy went to jail. That was, a downturn in the markets as well. It's not like we haven't seen things like this before. I guess it is a little different because it's more mainstream now, but I think the most shocking bit of that was that Hillary Clinton was on the top list, and she is a shady mofo. Is she not? Is it just me? Or is it like every time I hear something about her, it's always some shady bullshit? I don't know. It's crazy.
All right, sticking with FTX for our main story. I spoke with John Wu, the president of Ava Labs, about the SBF trial and the impact of the crypto exchange's collapse. I actually spoke with him on the day that FTX filed for bankruptcy in November of last year, and now he explains what's changed in crypto since then. He also weighs in on the latest development with Binance US. Today we learned that the US unit of Binance halted dollar withdrawals. That's according to its updated terms. Now the terms page says that if customers want to withdraw US dollars from their accounts, they must first convert dollars to stablecoins or other digital assets. In June, we learned Binance US customers would no longer be able to use US dollars to buy crypto on the platform. The crypto exchange blamed the SEC's, quote, unjustified civil claims against its business for the change. What does this all signal to you?
Well, I mean, you're on top of the news. This news just came out. It's in the line of a whole bunch of announcements, I think just yesterday, halting UK withdrawals as well. And
oh, wow, they halted UK withdrawals also? That's neat. I didn't know that.
It's one of those things where continuing to affects their business. Absolutely affects their business. I think volumes now on Binance are down 70%. Coinbase volume is down 50%, and they're gaining share. So it's an incredible situation. I just hope that whatever happens will happen sooner than later, because people do need access to their funds.
And it's certain.
Well, it's not like the access is gone, though. You can convert them to stable coins and send them off that way. It's just the fact that Binance doesn't want to get sued anymore from the SEC.
It will be interesting to continue to monitor what transpires on that end. But on the day FTX filed for bankruptcy back in November of last year, you spoke with me about the widespread impact of the FTX fallout on the industry. You noted that you've seen a situation like this play out in traditional finance with the collapse of Lehman Brothers, and that it took a long time for people to get back into the markets. You warned last November that the FTX fallout will play out for some time as well. And now that it has been almost a year, do you think people feel comfortable getting back into the crypto markets, or do you think more needs to be done to restore the trust that has been lost following FTX's implosion?
So I think you have to answer that with two different audiences. The on-chain analytics, meaning crypto native people who've been in the space for a long time, are very, very strong. Something like 70% of the addresses are now off-chain in cold storage, meaning they're hodling and they're not selling. So the on-chain, the old school crypto native continue to be holding on and are more convicted than ever. However, the second group, which is the newer people into the space, they continue to show, call it a lack of enthusiasm. And this is exactly why the exchanges, even like a Coinbase in the US, have volumes still down 50% year over year. And it doesn't seem like the bottom has actually, played itself out as of now, at least.
Some argue that the FTX trial is a bad look for the barely regulated crypto industry. Over the past few months, we have seen some regulatory advancements here in the U.S. In July, for example, U.S. lawmakers advanced the Fit for the 21st Century Act to establish a crypto framework. More recently, Senator Elizabeth Warren's crypto money laundering bill has been gaining more support on Capitol Hill. But do you think enough was accomplished since the implosion of FTX?
Since the implosion of FTX, the good news is it's brought a lot of awareness, and there has been a lot of competing bills, as well as a lot of discussion on what to do in the space. So from that perspective, it is good. But in the US, there is still a lot of uncertainty. What I think has been great since FTX is regulation overseas. In the EU, MiCA is a framework that's going to go into effect next summer in 2024. And as an operator of Ava Labs, talking to potential business partners, a lot of developers and enterprises are gearing up to launch projects and activity in 2024 because they have more clarity. In Asia, activity with business partners in, call it Korea or Japan, are really, really moving because, again, they have more clarity. So there's a lot of good things happening around the world since the FTX situation. In the US, the good news, it's brought about awareness. I think we need more certainty still. We're still working on that in the US.
Switching gears, the Wall Street Journal reported last week that Hamas militants behind the surprise attacks in Israel earlier this month raised millions in crypto. We also learned that Israeli police have reportedly frozen crypto accounts tied to Hamas, which has been designated a foreign terrorist organization by the US and has been sanctioned by officials. In fact, the Financial Times reported today that more than 100 Binance accounts have been frozen at the request of Israeli law enforcement since the attacks. What does this show you about blockchain technology and the potential to help track this sort of illicit activity?
Well, first of all, I'm very happy that bad actors and illicit funds can be stopped from moving. And it's actually a good example here where blockchain actually, if used right, can be a tool for law enforcement and for institutions to prevent bad actors. Blockchain is pseudonymous. It's not completely anonymous. It's totally traceable because of the provenance of the chain. And when you need to, when that money or funds needs to get off into fiat, that's where the data analytics firms can actually help out with the law enforcement that's necessary. And in this case, as you said, at the exchanges is where the change from call it crypto into fiat was happening, and that's where it was stopped. So I hope it's a good example for lawmakers to realize that this is a space. There's a lot of bad publicity about money being moved around in bad ways, but if used properly, it is actually a tool. Blockchain is a tool because of the traceability.
That's literally what I was gonna say. It's not such a bad thing that they make it out to be, crypto. The fact that they can actually stop it at the point of receiving the actual funds out of the blockchain, like through the exchanges. It's just, I think the government's just mad they didn't come up with it first. It's a fact. There's no way that doesn't help them in the long term, because how many people, how many times, or how many kids have you known right back in the day at school that would buy drugs from like a kid down the street or whatever the case may be? You're passing around fiat money. They can't trace that. They don't know whose hands it's in. You get $20. They don't know where the hell it went 10 minutes later. It's one of those things, it's kind of, I don't know. It's useful, and they shouldn't be shitting on it as much as they are, to be honest.
For law enforcement.
So we have spoken about crypto hacks before, but earlier this month, Avalanche upstart Stars Arena confirmed a quote major security breach. The social app was drained of nearly all locked funds as hackers exploited a smart contract that helped secure tokens on the platform. A few days later, Stars Arena posted on X, formerly known as Twitter, that the vast majority of the stolen funds were recovered. But what was your reaction to that breach, and what can be done to stop something like this from happening again?
So Stars Arena is a social finance app that was deployed on Avalanche. Avalanche is a permissionless blockchain, so Ava Labs, the team, had no interaction with Stars Arena before they deployed on Avalanche. That's important to note. It's an example of how a lot of developers in this space have great ideas, and clearly the transactions and the user growth in Stars Arena create a lot of interest, and there was great activity on chain. However, a lot of these developers probably launch a little bit quicker, and they need better audits and security on their applications. So I think it's unfortunate. Most important thing, it's unfortunate, and the money of individuals that was lost. The good news is most of that was recovered. Thank goodness for the individuals. Always about the community first. And listen, I think going forward, it's another example where a lot of these dApps probably should have slowed down a little bit and focus on the security of the aspects of the dApp. And I think in 2024 it'll be interesting, because these exploits will probably go down in 2024, because all the developers I'm talking to, they're exploring AI as a potential large language models in order to do audits better and faster than the normal way. So I'm hoping in 2024 there will be fewer of these DeFi or SocialFi exploits, or any type of exploits in the application world.
Yeah, I think I'd be right there with them, because this shit is getting absurd. All right, guys, this is the full video, by the way. I'm gonna put this in the chat for that crypto heist that we kind of showed the quick clip of first thing. So feel free to go check that out. I do want to, we'll read this at the end, I guess. Let's get into, I want to know what Crypto Zombie has to say. I started watching a little bit of this, and he's actually, the way I found out that Cointelegraph was the reasoning for the pump with the fake news of the spot Bitcoin ETF. So let's see what Crypto Zombie has to say. Guys, hit that like button. Appreciate you for hanging out. Let's do it.
What's going on, guys? K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day today. What the F literally just happened to the Bitcoin price this morning? So basically, in a nutshell, and honestly, I don't even know what else to make a video about today because this is insane. So Cointelegraph came out this morning and said that the SEC had approved the BlackRock ETF, right? Markets go absolutely crazy. Everybody over on Twitter starts reposting saying the SEC has approved BlackRock, and the price literally pumps 10%. Now, I did not retweet this because I just felt a little weird about the lack of sources. So we waited. Eric Belchunas, who's ETF master, at this stuff, he was looking into the sources, and finally we did in fact have this news that it was fake. A spokesperson, or at least someone close to BlackRock, I'm not really 100% sure, basically came out and said, no, the ETF is still under review, right? And so then the price just completely retraced virtually the entire move. Now, there's a few things I need to say about this before, and obviously we're going to have to look at the charts now because now we have this crazy price action. How is this going to affect it? Is it going to negatively affect it now? Because here's the thing. There are a lot of people that most likely went long during this move. They thought they were going to, get this crazy gains. And I mean, my God, I don't even know what the liquidations are at right now. It has to be in the hundreds of millions of dollars. So it's really insane. And then what happened was Cointelegraph went back and they changed their tweet to reportedly, okay? Reportedly after the news came out. But man, I could just tell you this. A lot of people probably lost a lot of money this morning. And I mean, I'm not going to say anything, but I wouldn't be surprised if someone tries to sue these guys because this is not the type of news that you just make up something about. I mean, can you imagine if a mainstream news source said something like that, said like, oh, there's these riots that are happening or something, or said something was happening, or, made up something about a world war. I mean, this is crazy. We're talking about finance here, but what I'm trying to say is, like, imagine if a mainstream media did that. Cointelegraph is arguably one of the largest out there, right? I'd put them right up there with CoinDesk and a few others. And to just put news out like that, and knowing how much that affects millions of people in the Bitcoin and crypto space and all the people that actually potentially got wrecked on this move, man, I don't really know what to think about that, guys. It's pretty crazy. But listen, here's the thing. Here's the thing I want to point out. Now, I don't know if this is going to negatively affect the price because, I mean, think about it now. Look at what the SEC, now they're seeing this price manipulation, right, or whatever you want to call it. That's not going to look good. That's not going to look good. I mean, look how quick one little tweet was able to move the price like that, right? So essentially, that could be bad. But before we get into the TA, I want to end on something that needs to be addressed. And that's the fact that look at what happened to the price on just speculation, on just this fake news that wasn't even confirmed. 10% candle pump in like a few minutes, right? So I think that what that's really telling us is for all these people that are like, oh, the ETF is priced in. It's clearly not priced in because look what happened with just this fake news. Now, obviously, everybody sold out of their positions once they found out that the news was fake. But really, this is showing me that it's not priced in. And that was just a taste of things to come. And when the real ETF gets approved, and remember, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, all right? Facts. We have the insiders that are saying, we have these deadlines coming up. I think this just goes to show you that it's going to be massive. And I can literally smell the FOMO in the air. So I think that actually, even though what happened this morning was pretty unfortunate for a lot of people who did jump on that because of the fake news, I think that what it's really showing us is that it's not priced in. And if you think that that was big, you probably haven't seen anything yet. So take it with a grain of salt. I think we can see the silver lining around this dark cloud that did happen this morning. But nevertheless, I suppose we should probably hop in and do some TA. And again, I don't really know what else to talk about today because that pretty much takes the cake for the craziest thing that's probably going to happen today. So also, guys, remember, I am going to be traveling. My schedule might be a little bit weird. Videos might come out at different times. So make sure you got the bell notification on. Make sure you're subscribed and all that other stuff. So let's hop in and let's at least try to make sense of the TA if we even can after some crazy move like this. So this has to literally...
So huge shout out to Crypto Zombie. We're going to continue to watch this. I want to see what he has to say with the charts. But the fact that like look at that candle, right? Like, seriously, look at this candle. Look at how fast, or whatever. What is this? 4-hour chart? So within 4 hours, this candle right here rose literally, what, 2 grand? And this is the amount of people that were in on this. Considering the amount of people in the world, it wasn't that many, right? I mean, yes, a lot of money is gone and liquidated or whatever the case may be, but this wasn't the whole world pushing this ETF. When this ETF actually gets approved, just look what the fake news did. Forget about what the real news is gonna do, you know? But yeah, so also Cointelegraph, they really are like one of the biggest when it comes to just in general with news and articles and all that stuff. So it sucks to have somebody like that put out fake, you know, spot Bitcoin ETF news or just fake news in general to cause a bunch of FUD. But, you know, it was probably just a honest mistake, but it does suck. You know, it sucks that a lot of people probably lost money.
Really be one of the craziest price moves that we have seen in a long time. You can actually see right here, if we just take out our tool, you know, sort of from when we broke this level, Bitcoin came up almost 12%. Now it has retraced back here. Obviously, if we exclude this insane price action, which clearly was not natural, it was driven on news, it was driven on, you know, emotions. Again, we did.
Well, and the only thing also, like this pump, this could be negative towards the approval of the spot ETF, to be honest. So I guarantee you the SEC is going to cause some bullshit about this market manipulation pump that happened right here.
Have this downward sloping trend right here. Even though we did lose the upwards trend, we did have support down here. So, I mean, even though this was a pump on fake news, I would be interested to see if we now hold back above here and if this actually turns out to just be a giant fake out, right? If we come over...
Nerd Beast, you know what? In the chat, he just said, I bet that was an intern that made the 2.25 million off the fake news. Could you imagine if it was the intern that did like an inside job like that, pushed out an article just to benefit on his own? That's actually kind of nuts. I didn't even think about that. That's wild. That'd be terrible, though. Oh, my God.
Over here, you can see that we are actually back above the EMA ribbon. So, again, that 89 is around 27,651. Now, there is something that I did want to show you guys, which could actually be really positive for the Bitcoin price. But, again, it is only Monday, guys. And, I mean, this is a crazy way to start the week off. This is a very...
So, obviously, you put this out 2 days ago, but... regardless, I'm sure the chart's still more or less the same. We're in the same range as we were, 28,000.
Insane move. But what you could see is we did fall out. Let me look at that volume. Look at that volume that came in right there. And you can see right here, you know, we did have this fake out. Again, this was a little bit news driven, right? We broke right through the 100, and this is the 200 daily. So you can see that the bulls are attempting to struggle above it. But if you look right here, this is that heart line of that upward sloping trend, right? So ultimately, if you kind of just erase, you know, everything that we didn't really know about this morning, this would essentially just be a bear trap. And now we're back at the heart line of the upwards trend, right? So again, there's nothing really that we should be too worried about with the price action unless, you know, like Gary comes out and says, forget about it, or there's this crazy manipulation, whatever. But, you know, the thing that I talked about was we were looking to potentially put in this death cross on the weekly. And remember, I spoke about how we had never actually ever seen one of those before. So we don't know how that's going to actually play out. We did, however, get down here, right? We got this buy signal on the hash ribbon indicator, which has only been wrong twice. And really, one time was because of the black swan, and the other time it really wasn't wrong. But here is the situation. So if you look, and this is, I guess, a little bit of the scary part. So we have this giant parallel channel that we've been in, right? Now, if we were to fall down to this heart line, that would bring Bitcoin down to about $17,500. And that would not really be too great. That would actually be very bad for the Bitcoin price. But what we have is we have the 50, the 100, the 200 EMA, and the 200 weekly, all looking like they're trying to sort of all, you know, coincide in this area. And at the same time, we have the 100 literally kissing the downwards part of this trend, right? So basically, when we had actually broken out here, when we had this wick breaking up here, you know, I was getting kind of excited. Of course, I didn't know what the news was, if it was true or not, but that would basically put us in clean water because we would be above the 50, above the 200 EMA, above the 200 weekly, and above the 100. These are all four of the major moving averages that we use. You know, 21 exponential we use as well. And, you know, that could put us into something where we were looking for another type of a bump and run, right? Like what we have here. And these patterns usually signal reversals and or continuations, right? For example, you know, we could just draw some lines right here if you want to see it sort of live. You know, right here, we draw this trend right here. You could see where we had that bump and run right there, right? You could see how we had this area, and then right here, bump, run, right? And we've seen it actually right here. You could even take from the top right here and come down like this, where we had this second area right here, you could see, and then we came down and we retested it. So that is one definite possibility. And, you know, we were getting confluence on Market Cipher. In fact, Market Cipher was indicating that you probably were looking to get into a long at that area. But again, you know, it's a little scary considering that, actually, look at that. We perfectly hit that VPVR right there, 30. Yeah, look at that. Bitcoin came up to about a high of around 30,300. Wow. And that's crazy. That is exactly where we had this floor right here, right? That is exactly the area that we were looking to break through, because once we broke through that, there was a good chance of actually continuing to the upside. Actually, here was the example of the bump and run that I had set up. I was going to show you guys. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, having a look right here, again, you know, look at exactly where we went into. We went into the blue zone, right? We went into the bottom of this area. So this was a fake out. And unfortunately, it's kind of hard to count that as really anything because it was a fake news driven event and no one could have foreseen that. So kind of we're just back where we are. Again, you know, is there now that possibility that we come down and we retest some of these major trends? It's possible. But as of right now, we are still technically, theoretically, we didn't put in a higher high, unfortunately, but we are still continuing to put in a series of higher lows, which, you know, if we look here, we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 more weeks, maybe a month and a half, roughly, before, you know, we're going to have to make a decision if we're going to have that breakout or if we're going to break down and retest this level. But obviously, the longer that we wait to retest that level, the higher that potential level will be, because these spider lines are rising, right? So that might bring us down to about 26,000 and change or something like that again. But yeah, basically, really, ultimately, not much has changed on the chart. But yeah, I would say probably this thing right here, this little cluster F, you know what I'm talking about? This is probably what we have to pay the most attention to see if now this 200 EMA at around 25.7 is going to hold us as it's been holding us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bounces and closes we had above it. Actually 6 if you count, 7 actually if you count this back here.
Those are weekly candles, by the way.
So yeah, it's been holding us quite well. And we do have this looking like it wants to curve up. Now, a very interesting thing right here is we have this coming out, right? The 200 EMA, and we have this coming up right here, the 50. So it's really weird. You may be having a potential death cross and golden cross at the same time. Very confusing times, but ultimately I think a 5-year-old could see that this is where we've been held down. This is the major parallel structure, and anything breaking and holding above this would be great. So again, what's actually kind of crazy is the level that we need to break above is kind of the level that we're at literally right now, which is actually kind of insane. We're literally at that level right now, which is roughly at around $28,300. So again, guys, it is only Monday, and these are weekly candles, so we have an entire week to see what ends up happening, but that's basically...
I mean, let's be honest, there isn't going to be another candle here anyways. I know he did this the other day, but shout out to Crypto Zombie. I honestly do appreciate his charting, because he is pretty decent when it comes to it, and he explains it like it would be explained to a 5-year-old, so it's nice. I can understand it. All right, let's see. So this is the last little article I kind of want to just read over here. BTC price models hint at 130K target after 2024 Bitcoin halving. Bitcoin is due to double its current all-time high price within 2 years of the April 2024 halving, the model suggests. You know what's crazy though? If we actually see $130,000 Bitcoin, like, or if it's like almost, I wouldn't say guaranteed, because nothing's guaranteed in crypto, but if it's like, you know, if they really do think this is going to happen, why aren't people buying up Bitcoin like crazy? That's what just kind of throws me for a loop. But I don't know. Bitcoin is destined to hit $128,000 or more by the end of 2025. Multiple analytics model suggests. Uploading his latest BTC price estimates to X, formerly Twitter, on October 17th, popular trader and analysis CryptoCon deduced a 2-year target of around 130,000. I don't know who that is, but whatever. Let's see. Bitcoin market participants are diverging over how BTC price behavior will respond to next year's block subsidy halving, but for CryptoCon, the long-term roadmap is looking firmly bullish. In an update for various models charting both Bitcoin price cycles and their highs and lows, the analysis reiterated that the area around 130,000 was fast becoming a magnet. I've been doing, in quotations, says I've been doing a lot of Bitcoin cycle top experiments lately, and I keep seeing right around the same price, 130K, he summarized. An accompanying chart highlighted so-called early tops in each cycle, along with the actual cycle top constituting a new all-time high. The early tops on average occur 3 weeks on either side of July. CryptoCon explained the new all-time highs come 3 weeks on either side of November 28th, already a popular phenomenon that Cointelegraph reported on last month. The timing for these events comes from plotting simple diagonal trend lines from the first early top. Sorry, my kid's coming down here. I could hear her coming down with her iPad. Can you go jump in the chair? Right there, jump in the chair. Well, all right. Anyways, so I'm gonna be shocked. I don't know. I'm not really shocked. I wouldn't be too shocked if Bitcoin does hit 130. But I do have to get back to daddy duty because, as you can see, I have my minion coming down here to say good morning. She's been upstairs being so good on her iPad, and I appreciate it. All right, guys, you're all awesome. Love you all. Hopefully you guys have a lovely and safe Wednesday. I will catch you guys bright and early tomorrow morning, 8:15, 8:30, depending on how my wife feels, if she can help me in the morning or not. And yeah, until then, I'll see you guys soon. Happy hump day. Peace out.